Hey guys, welcome to my networking closet. And we're in here today because I'm going to be upgrading my Starlink system. So I've had my Starlink standard system for a couple years now, and this is essentially the state of it right now. So I have the standard Gen 3, with the power brick, and then the Gen 3 router. I've got my Starlink cable coming in to my basement. It's just drilled through a hole in the outside of my home and run through the basement, coming into this little closet area. And then I've got everything plugged in to this APC UPS as a battery backup. And this has worked for, like I said, a couple years now. Haven't had any issues with it. But I want to make an upgrade to this setup by introducing the advanced power supply kit from Starlink. So you may have seen my review of this, and you may have also seen this in my review of the new performance dish from Starlink that includes this advanced power supply kit. But you may not know this, the advanced power supply kit is an accessory sold and is compatible with the Gen 3 Starlink, the standard dish. And basically what it does is allows you to get rid of the Starlink router, get rid of the Gen 3 power supply, and have a simplified setup. It's mainly targeted toward enterprise customers or people like me who may want to get rid of the Starlink router and go third party and just eliminate this completely. And the advanced power supply is one way to do that. There are some other advantages as well. I'll get into that as we go through this video, but my plan is to mount the advanced power supply in my networking closet here. I've attached this 2x2 piece of plywood to the wall, anchored it into the concrete foundation, and that allows me to attach my networking accessories. So I'll put the advanced power supply, I'll mount the Gen 3 router up here. I'm using the Gen 3 router still just temporarily until next year, 2026, when I start my kind of Ubiquiti Unify network adventure. I'm going to be moving into that ecosystem with their gateways and routers and access points and all that. So I'll be sure to make videos on that, but that's phase 2. This is sort of phase 1, just laying the foundation here with the Starlink advanced power supply. You can see I've got some other cables here running some Ethernet to my home office / studio. Again, that'll be future videos. This is step 1 though. And before we get rid of the Gen 3 power supply, the one that comes included in the kit, I wanted to show you something. So this is the power draw of my current system, and it averages, you can see right now it's averaging about 43 watts over the last 15 minutes. And that hovers between, I would say, 43 and 47 watts usually. Now see what happens when I go to settings and Starlink, snow melt. Let's turn on preheat. That's going to ramp up power, full power to the dish. It's mainly for melting snow in advance of a big storm if you have one coming, but by me turning it on, I can show you the power that's available for this Starlink. So as it ramps up here, you're going to see that it's going to spike up to somewhere around 150 to 160 watts. Yeah, so we can see right here, you can see that on the graph, that spiked up a lot. Now it's at it's reading 161 watts right now. And I've seen it approach 170 watts. So the Gen 3 power supply brick is capable of around 195 watts. That's a max DC output listed on the label, but I've never really seen anything over 170 watts in the Starlink app. So that, just turning on snow melt, I just wanted to demonstrate that. That's the before. We're going to hook up the advanced power supply now and just see if it's capable of more than that, just to see, if that's one of the other advantages of upgrading to the advanced power supply. So let's just get started by checking out what's in the actual kit. So if you open up the box here, these are the instructions and some regulatory notices. This is the advanced power supply itself. It's got AC input, DC input, LAN port for the router, and then a dish PoE output. The router or the network connection is also PoE. So as you'll see, you can power a router from it as well to kind of simplify your setup. But what's also nice is that it has this little bracket. This allows me to mount this very cleanly up on my the plywood up there. So we'll do that here in a second. But also in the box you have some hardware, cables, DC cable and an AC cable. So let's get right into mounting this thing up. I'm gonna drill some pilot holes and then get this screwed in. And I've already pre-marked all nice and level and evenly spaced and everything, just to make this process super quick. Okay, just secure this into place with a few screws. And there we go. The wall mount is now installed, and we'll get the Gen 3 router mount installed now. So you may be confused, why am I still using the Gen 3 router if the whole point of the advanced power supply is to get rid of it? And that's just because right now I don't have the third-party router that I want purchased. So I'm just going to be using this as kind of temporary setup for the time being. But eventually I'll replace the Gen 3 router with something from Unify and swap everything out, except for the advanced power supply, because that will be able to send PoE and network to my new third-party router. Okay, mounting hardware is up. It looks good. That was super easy. Really glad I decided to put this plywood panel in here and create kind of a networking closet. So let's get the rest of the advanced power supply hooked up. So installation in this nice mount is super simple. You just basically snap it into place. And these little tabs, they pull up and down. Hope you can see that on the camera. That's what locks it into place. So now it's secure. That's not going anywhere. Now we can do the cabling. So I'm going to be running this just off of AC power using the AC power cord. I'm just going to plug it right into my APC UPS. So we just need the AC power cable. We'll go ahead and unplug the Gen 3 power supply and plug in the cord for the advanced power supply. So we'll just remove the waterproof plug and then plug this in its place, just like that. I'll probably do some cable management later, but what this does, the APC UPS puts this whole thing on a battery backup. So whenever the power goes out, or if I have a temporary power outage or power surge, the APC UPS smooths all that out, allows me to keep my Starlink connection online without going down. So that's it for the advanced power supply. That's all the stuff that I need from this kit. I don't need the DC cable since I'm using the APC to back it up. So let's get this out of the way. And then we'll move on to the router itself. So you can see on the advanced power supply, I have a blinking LED. Hope the camera picks that up. But that's telling me that I don't have an active Starlink antenna connection. So that's the next hookup that we need to make. I have my Starlink cable. This is the 150-foot cable coming in from the dish that's mounted to my roof. And I'm just going to plug it right in. So take the plug out and the cable goes right in. It's labeled right here. So I have a network port on the left and then the antenna port on the right. And that goes right in, and you can see the LED instantly turn solid because it's sensing that we have that Starlink connected. And I got to figure out how to clean these cables up. I think I'll end up flipping this UPS around, maybe zip tying the power cable to this, or maybe even just buying like a power strip instead of that I can mount on the board here. Who knows, we'll figure that out later. But for now, my antenna is hooked up to the power supply, so my dish is getting power. It should be booting up right now. And last thing I need to do is hook up the router. So this is the networking port, and this is PoE, so it does provide some power. I'm using, by the way, a short, I think this is like 15 feet or so, Starlink standard Gen 3 cable. I forget what accessory this came with, but this has the, the waterproof seals. All these plugs on the advanced power supply have those little seals. So this is the plug that came out of it. So you need one of these cables from Starlink to be able to hook up even a third-party router. They do sell a specific cable. So this is the cable that they sell specifically for this, for third-party routers. So you have the Starlink waterproof seal on one side. This plugs into the advanced power supply. This is just a regular RJ45 Ethernet for the third-party router side. But since I'm using the Starlink router, I'm going to be using this cable temporarily because I need this side on both ends. And for the Gen 3 router, I'm using their router wall mount. I think this is still available in the Starlink shop, but this is directly available from Starlink. Just allows you to mount this to a wall. I used to have this in my Scamp travel trailer, but now I'm repurposing it for this temporarily. So I just run the cable, wrapped it around this just for some temporary cable management, and now I can just plug in the router. And again, one of the cool things about this advanced power supply is that this is a PoE output that's going up to the Starlink router. And the Gen 3 router, I don't know if a lot of you know this, you can actually power this over PoE. So it doesn't need the separate power supply anymore. I can just plug my power cable directly into the WAN port, the antenna port, like so, and then fit this into the mount. There we go. Clean that up a little bit. And there we go. I do have the light coming on. And you see that kind of fits perfectly there. So I think they definitely made this, as wide as this on purpose, because these are exactly the same width. I don't know if you can see that. Very symmetrical, very nice looking. I do need to clean up these cables, but that's pretty cool. So I do have the light coming on now, and that means my network is booting up. So we'll check in the Starlink app after it boots up in a minute and see what the increased power consumption is. I did a little bit of cable management, cleaned it all up, and I think that looks a lot better. Everything's off the floor now. I do need to get I'll be getting a shelf that I'm going to mount here to put the UPS on, get that off the floor. Also put my Unify network attached storage in here as well, and hook it up to the router. I've got some other Ethernet runs coming in here that I need to finish off, and I'll be getting a Unify switch and Unify gateway and access points and all that stuff later on, but this kind of lays the foundation, upgrading my Starlink to the advanced power supply. All right, it's been about 15 minutes, it's booted up, so let's turn on Snowmelt and see if one of the benefits of this advanced power supply with the standard dish is that it gives you maybe more power output. So we maxed out at like 160 before, so let's turn on Snowmelt, see if we can't ramp this up and figure out if this would actually allow you to have a more reliable dish in winter conditions, in heavy snow or even heavy rain. So you can see we spiked up now. So we're still just hitting that 160 watt mark. So it's currently using 166 watts. You can see on the graph here, it spiked way up. I'll give it a few more seconds here, but this looks to be not power supply limited because this can go 200 watts plus on the output here. I think it's limited by the antenna itself. So the Gen 3 standard antenna may only be capable of accepting that, 160 something watts, even though the advanced power supply can do much more than that with, for example, the performance dish, which has a much higher snow melting capability. And it looks like it's going to ramp back down and then ramp back up, probably back to 160 watts. So yeah, that kind of proves something that I just wanted to check. I didn't think that it would, but the advanced power supply does not necessarily increase the power output to your standard dish, even though it has the capability to do so. It is important to note, though, that the power usage displayed in the Starlink app is only for the antenna itself. It doesn't include the other system components like the router or any losses or inefficiencies from the power supply itself. So luckily, though, I can go down to my little UPS here, and it has a readout. Probably can't see it from this angle, but it's reading anywhere from 58 to 65 watts, 64 watts, 63 watts. So in that range, 15 to 20 watts extra being used by the router and possibly some losses from the advanced power supply. That's pretty typical. That's about the same as what it was before with just the Gen 3 standard power supply and router, maybe 5 watts extra or so, probably because of the increased circuitry and capabilities from the advanced power supply. Also, might as well run a speed test, even though changing the power supply is not going to affect your internet speed at all, but it might as well. Yeah, so pretty typical speeds there. That's what I see between 300 and 400 megabits per second down during this time of day outside of peak hours. And then, yeah, usually anywhere from 20 to 40 megabits per second on the upload is normal. So that's pretty high result there, 55 megabits per second on the upload and under 20 milliseconds of latency, which is really good. So that's the advanced power supply upgrade for the standard dish. Nothing too groundbreaking or interesting in this video. I just wanted to take you along for the ride, kind of give you a behind the scenes look at what I'm doing with my own personal setup, maybe give you some inspiration or ideas or answer some of the common questions that you may have to see if something like this, the advanced power supply, is right for you or not. To be honest with you, like I said, it's just, for me, it's all about my future network upgrades that I'm going to be doing, getting rid of the Starlink router and switching to a Unify setup, not wanting to have the complicated setup of having to do a third-party router while keeping the Starlink Gen 3 power supply and router. The traditional ways to plug in your third-party router into one of the Ethernet ports on the back and then turn this on bypass mode. I didn't want to mess with that. So I bought the advanced power supply, not only to review for you guys, but also to use for myself in my own network closet. So I hope this was at least interesting or answer some of your questions or helpful in some way. If you have any questions about the standard kit and using it with the advanced power supply or any other Starlink questions, just leave them in the comments below. As always, really appreciate you watching and supporting the channel. I'll see you in the next video.